Hello there, Star Wars toy fans. This is Jim, and thanks again for taking the time to stop by my channel. A while back, I did a review on the Scout Walker made by Kenner, and today I thought I would do a comparison of the Scout Walker made by Kenner to that was licensed through Meccano of France. Now, if you're a Star Wars collector, just even outside of the action figure realm, this book put together by Duncan Jenkins and Gus Lopez is really, really a must-have. And we'll turn to the toy section here. One nice thing about this book is it's got that ribbon marker. So when you look at the toy section, and this is action figure related vehicles, it shows you the countries in which they were licensed. So Toll Toys out of Australia, Kenner Canada, and then here's Meccano of France, and that's what I was focusing on. Now, I'm not one to go down the rabbit hole of getting everything from one particular country. However, I would and am trying to get at least one representation out of each of the foreign made vehicles or toys or figures. So here we look at France, and out of Star Wars, they produced Darth Vader TIE Fighter, the White TIE Fighter, Troop Transport, the Land Speeder, the X-Wing, and then it has different background of boxes. And then we go to Italy, United Kingdom with Palitoy, and then we have Kenner, the United States. Then we move over here to the Empire Strikes Back. You have Kenner Canada, there's Meccano. They produce the Millennium Falcon, the Cloud Car, and the Snow Speeder, and that's it. In Peru, we have Bassa with the Slave 1, and then Spain, PBP, and those figures are quite sought after. And then, of course, we have the UK with Palitoy there, and then we have the United States. Return of the Jedi, we see that we've got Kenner Canada, there's Europe with Palitoy that had a whole slew of stuff, and then right down here is Meccano of France. And so they only really produce two major vehicles. We have the Rebel Transport and the Scout Walker. And this, by the way, is for Return of the Jedi, in case I didn't mention that. And then we have three mini-rigs. That's it. That is it. In fact, when you look at Mexico and Lily Lady, we have the B-Wing fighter, and then, oops, sorry about that, and then we move up here, and then there's a whole list of ships that Lily Lady produced. Even Spain here produced the speeder bike. So that's it, just those two vehicles for Return of the Jedi. Now the first thing I'd like to do is just a comparison contrast of the instructions. So here we have those made by Kenner in the United States. You can see that's clearly labeled. And then that has been eliminated on the Meccano. And of course there is also the Return of the Jedi logo here. And we'll talk a little bit about that and the differences between that and the Empire Strikes Back when we look at the box. But just looking at the instructions, you can see that the drawings are pretty much the same thing. Font's a little bit different, A and B, but the assembly is essentially identical. So now we'll look at the second and third pages here, and you'll see that they're really identical. Other than the yellowing of the paper, on the Meccano one, it's the same thing. Now we'll go ahead and look at the back, and there's some major differences on the back side. So here we have our drawing. Everything, of course, is in French. Kenner has the Really Do Care. And then where you can place your order if you're missing parts. And then here we actually have the Meccano, the Miro Meccano license. And they are, by the way, are still in business. Interestingly, that Kenner is not. Now you can say, oh yes they are. Well, they got bought out by Hasbro. If I sound like I'm a bit stuffy today, I'm a bit congested. My son keeps bringing home these little colds that never seem to end. I'm sure those of you that have kids identify with that. Well, let's do a box comparison here. Now, for those of you that are really into boxes and box art, you could go crazy just getting variations here in the United States, like let alone the Millennium Falcon, and even foreign variations. There happens to be what I call a transition box. So you notice this one clearly is Hoth, and this one is the one made in Kenner, by Kenner, as it says down here. This is the Meccano box, and that says Return of the Jedi, and there you see Chief Chirpa and Logray. But there is a transition box that's very rare, where you have the artwork here and then the Return of the Jedi logo there. And for those who like to collect boxes, that's one to take a look at. So here you can see there must be a licensing here, and the reason why this is not in French. However, Return of the Jedi is in French, so I don't know how you'd compare or reason why on that. Taking a look here, we can see here that the drawings look exactly the same, and then here happens to be where it was purchased from. So I turned this upside down, and if you look at that, $29.95, but then in red, El Corte Inglés. Now that happened to be a chain store that is the third largest chain store in the world, and the largest chain store in Europe. And it was exclusive to Spain at the time. And so that would tell me that this vehicle actually was originally purchased in Spain and not in France, although it was made in France. Now, you look at this box, and this says made in Spain. So, maybe that was actually made in Spain. Just the box art, I'm not really sure. But clearly, this was sold at a Spanish store. So we'll move on here. Now, it's interesting when we look at this, and I'll kind of back up here. Scout Walker vehicle with hand-operated walking feature. And then, notice without batteries. We don't have any mention of that in the one that was made by Kenner. Now, here we look at the other side, and this one, we happen to have a sticker. And that one says Gold Circle, and that was a Midwest chain that is now out of business. Those stickers I really like. They kind of give a history of the toy itself. And then we take a look at this side here, and it's pretty much identical with the exception that Kenner is here and Kenner is not there. The reference numbers happen to be different as well, and that maybe that has to do with Return of the Jedi. So this has a 69800, and this one has 191193. Now we'll take a look at the top of the box. Move the camera down. And here again, we see that there just says Kenner licensing there, and then there's a whole lot of licensing at this area. It says Palitoy Division of General Mills. Done in England, so maybe England Palitoy produced this and then sold it through Meccano. This is the most interesting part, happens to be on the back, at least for me. So here we have our proof of purchase seals that allows us to get free stuff, and then you have your copyright logo, 1982, trademark under Lucasfilm. Here is where we see the actual Meccano. And right there. So hopefully the camera will focus just a bit. This says 1983 copyright, Miro Meccano. Now I can't read French, however, I can read that. Now neither one of these vehicles happen to come with, or boxes happen to come with any of the internal packing. But if you're familiar with the Scout Walker, they look pretty much the same. Both happen to be missing the sticker on the back that tells you, to on or off with the action. And other than maybe coloring, which could be due to the age of the vehicles, they're exactly identical. Now, even to the point of the copyright stamp and the part numbers that are on the legs. Maybe the sticker is a little bit different here on those windows, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. The one major difference that I could tell happens to be with the top lid. Now you'll notice there's a gray piece of plastic that's filled in. That's not a sticker. The sticker is there, but you can press on that, and that's hard plastic. And this one happens to be the same color as the lid, so it's like that's all one piece, and for whatever reason, this was something separate. I'm not sure what, but maybe somebody stuck something in. I don't know. But anyway, other than that, these are exactly identical. So it's really the box art that makes this quite unique. Well, I hope you found this video useful and informative. And please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And we will see you on a future video.